So let's go to let's preview the Super Bowl. So Bucks Chiefs in Tampa Bay, first team ever with home field advantage. Do you think home field advantage will play a role in this game, or do you think it's going to be a lot of neutral fans and it won't really matter? What do you think, Brett?
Um, I think because I don't know. It just depends on what. I don't think it matters what the NFL says. It's just what Tampa Bay does there at the stadium. So they could just sell tickets to fans if they wanted to, and make it more of it's home field advantage. So if you can do it, why not?
Yeah,
Or they could
like
spread
for
it out.
cheaper and get the local fans or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but and so with it being there though, there's going to be fans. Yeah, a lot of fans that are going to want to go that will pay higher prices than just fans of the NFL. So it
Yeah.
could be a huge advantage. It would definitely be an advantage if it was full capacity,
Yeah.
but they can still make it uh, even if a little bit still an advantage for them here come Super Bowl time.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Dustin, what do you think on that? You think home field plays a role? I mean, it is interesting that the first time ever that a team is going to have actually home field advantage is during COVID, and so they're not going to get the full stadium.
I absolutely do, for the simple fact that we don't even know how many people are going to be willing to travel, and I think it's just going to be more people from the state of Florida
Yeah,
and the city of Tampa, and I'm sure most people in Tampa Bay got to be Buccaneer fans. So
yeah,
But it's also the fact that they get to play, like shoot, like playing basketball. There's nothing like shooting at your home court. It's
yeah,
difficult to adjust, on the road, playing at a different field. All fields are different. All atmospheres. Playing down there, it could be humid. Who knows what it's going to be like.
yeah.
So it could be a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, and Super Bowl is a big game like that. Sometimes it stresses and has young players like thinking too much. Maybe that home field familiarity might calm them down a little bit.
We'll see.
So looking at Bucks Chiefs, I mean, I think in my mind the first thing that comes, pops off the looking at these two matchups is the Bucks defense. But the Bucks, yeah, Bucks defense against that Chiefs offense. Can they get pressure on Mahomes, and can that young secondary continue to play hot and take the ball away? Mahomes last Super Bowl uncharacteristically had like three first half turnovers. So if the Bucks can take advantage of that, maybe that helps too. What do you think, Dustin? Do you think this Bucks team has what it takes to match up with this unreal Chiefs offense?
I do. For the simple fact is, the Chiefs will not have not faced a defense the caliber of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's true. I'm trying to think of who they faced that's close to it, but this might be their toughest test. What do you
They
think?
did beat Tampa Bay earlier though in the season.
They did, and I think they put up quite a few points on them. Brett, do you think is Mahomes the type of quarterback you get pressure from Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett? You think they can rattle him and get to his confidence a little bit? I mean, we saw it last year with Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead, and yet he still pulled it out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough test. It's not. Nothing's easy here. Week in and week out, and especially obviously the last week of the season. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be. Can they keep overcoming, and if they're just able to overpower it and fight through it, I think Kansas City will come out on top. But then
yeah,
again, you're coming up against the GOAT, so you got to remember it's a mind game too.
yeah. Don't give the ball to Brady with time on the clock in a one-score game. That should be
Not.
yeah.
Mahomes is also playing with a messed up toe, they said it's a minor case of turf toe. So if they can get to him, they might be able to rattle him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Another matchup to watch is something that you brought up earlier in the season, Brett. Is Carlton Davis, one of the young best corners in the game, matched up against Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek torched him in the first half last meeting. So will Carlton Davis, hopefully he's fired up and bounces back, but that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I remember I was watching one of their games and I was texting you
Yeah,
about how he was getting toasted, and he's bounced back. Like, I mean, I didn't doubt that he would, but that's just that he had a bad game that game, and it was just funny. I came across it. But it's a good, he's a good look, like somebody that you said was touted coming out that you
but like
liked, and I
Tyreek,
agree.
Tyreek is hard to stop for anybody. He's so fast.
I know, yeah. I mean, I it was just funny what I said, and then that tweet that I sent you. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Now, Brady against the Chiefs defense, I don't anticipate a lot of issues there. I expect the Bucs to be able to move the ball and put up points. I think Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette can run on them, can catch out of the backfield and make plays. I mean, am I sleeping on them? Do you guys think the Chiefs defense is better than I do? I just think Brady will have time, and he's got weapons out there. He'll have time to get the ball to those guys. Just make sure you don't throw the ball to Tyrann Mathieu, and you should be good.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to be able to slow down Tampa's offense is if Brady throws picks like
Yeah.
he does sometimes.
Yep. And the few times he did throw picks against Green Bay, I think they were getting some pressure in his face, and that's a key.
But the Chiefs defense has parts of their defense where they're very weak. So I mean,
Yeah.
because the Browns, threw on them pretty good, and so did the Bills. So I mean,
Yep. They're beatable. And like I've been saying, this year the Chiefs are more beatable than past years. So they in their last, I believe, their last 8 wins have been by 6 points or less for the Chiefs.
Hey, well, guess what? A W is a W.
It's true. That's something I considered when I was reading that too. I'm like, I feel like this is a trap. um, then we got, yeah, what are you guys looking at? What do you guys think is a matchup to watch? I mean, Chiefs Bets, it's going to be a hell of a game. I can't wait.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna match up linebacker wise, the Bucks, like with
With the
the high
speed.
powered offense and the speed that the Chiefs have. Like, how do you counter that with that more? Their front seven is more of their. Not saying that their whole defense isn't stout and dominant, but their front seven's pretty strong. How do you counter that speed wise?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think I could see a lot of like sweeps and end around, stuff like that. I think the Chiefs are going to be really creative in this game. And I'm sure Bruce Arians is going to have some tricks up his sleeve as well. I like, you get the best tight end in football in Travis Kelce that you're going to have to defend. I like the idea of Devin White on him. Devin White is such a freak, athletic linebacker. Kelsey's still going to get his, but White should be able to stay with him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's an athlete, so I guess it's the perfect matchup as far as what you would want. But that's for more of against Kelsey in the tight end position.
Yeah.
If they have guys coming out of the backfield, the slot, whoever it may be, we can name players we go on. How they're not going to be able to match up necessarily. They're going to have to drop somebody. It's going to have to be a different defensive scheme because they haven't seen an offense like this before. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe somewhat in um, the Saints, but the speed, like you can't. And like I said, there's only so many things that you can um, simulate in life, and then there's just things that you can't, and that's something that you can't just come up with in practice.
Yeah. Um, Dustin, one thing that I like that this Bucks team has been doing is they're not only playing good defense, but they're playing physical. They're laying the wood. They're bringing the heat. And a couple Jordan Whitehead hits caused those Aaron Jones fumbles. A couple other hits were like flagged, but then they pick up the flag because you just can't call that shit. But that could be an advantage to Tampa Bay. Physicality, a physical defense always matters. And the Bucks seem to be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, a little edge to them. And so if their linebackers and corner and secondary are bringing the heat and making some big hits, maybe they can force a fumble or two against some of these smaller receivers like Hardman, Tyreek Hill, Demarcus Robinson, guys like that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen from the past, Super Bowls with the Legion of Boom and the Denver Broncos, who are all physical and they've done well. So,
Yeah.
the fact that this defense can take your head off almost every hit is going to be big, and they're going to hit Mahomes hard enough to startle him. Trust me.
Yeah, if Pierre Paul or Shaq Barrett or maybe Ndamukong Suh gets through there, he could lay a hit on him.
All I hope is that we get a clean, fair game, and the refs aren't throwing flags for every small little bullshit call or bullshit hit.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did a better job of picking up the flags and did a good job in that Green Bay game of not calling everything and kind of letting the guys play. Let's do official predictions. Let's start with Bret. Bucks and Chiefs. Who's the winner? Who's winning the Super Bowl this year?
Man, you put me on the spot right there. I'm gonna say the Bucks just for some reason. I don't know why.
The GOAT?
I think that they're just more well rounded.
Yeah.
They're ready for this more. They weren't, and we knew at a point back when they were like 7-4, 7-5 or something. Or something like that, 8-5, maybe 8-4. We were questioning. That's when we were talking about the Saints matchups,
Yeah.
and now that question has been answered. And like you said, the Chiefs have been beatable. They've gotten by. They've been winning games by single digits.
Yeah.
Their time is due to lose one. And when you come to the GOAT's town, in this sense, it's not, matching up well for you.
Yep, that's the biggest factor for me. It's like if anyone can beat Mahomes at his own game, it's the GOAT. And he did it 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game, and there's not a doubt in my mind that he can't do it again. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a hard fought game. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, well, looking back from the last meeting, it was 27-24 Chiefs. And the fact that Brady is 3-0 against Andy Reid in the playoffs,
Ooh.
I am going to go with the Bucks 34, the Chiefs 28.
Nice. I
So
like it.
the Bucks will be raising the Lombardi Trophy just because I feel like the Chiefs are gonna underestimate Brady and make the mistake of giving him the ball at the end.
Yeah, I like that. It's going to be 28-27 Chiefs. They're going to give the ball back to Brady with just a little too much time on the clock, and the GOAT's going to do GOAT shit.
When you said 27 Chiefs, you mean Bucks?
No, it's going to be 28-27 Chiefs. They're going to give the ball back to Brady, and he's going to go touchdown drive it to win 34-28, like Dustin said.
Oh, I got you.
Hey, look.
I think it's going to be 28-24.
Okay.
I'm saying this right now. out of my heart, and I'm the biggest Tom Brady hater there is, as being an Indianapolis fan. But if Tom Brady does that in Super Bowl 55, there is no doubt in my mind that he is the greatest football player to ever touch this earth.
Oh, it's good to hear you say that.
The greatest athlete ever. He would even be higher than Michael Jordan on
Yeah,
the
get
greatest
out of here.
athlete
That's not
list.
good on that, man. But, I mean, it's going to be tough. I picked the 49ers to beat the Chiefs last year because of their great defense and their running game. What gives me hope is now we've got Tom Brady. You know, the Bucks have a good defense, they've got a good running game, but they've got Tom Brady. And I think a big X factor, someone that can, you know, kind of go under the shadows a little bit going into this game is Antonio Brown. If he's healthy and can play, he can have a big factor. He's played in the biggest games before. He's reliable as hell. Tom Brady has good chemistry with him. Look for Gronk and Brady and Antonio Brown, Gronk and Antonio Brown, to be sneaky weapons to come up big in the Super Bowl, and that they're going to have to if the Bucks are going to win. So yes, I'm with you. We got a clean sweep on this podcast. We're all saying the Bucks are going to dethrone Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs, and I like that stat you busted out of Brady being 3-0 against Andy Reid.
Yeah, and
in the playoffs.
also, just to let you know, Antoine Winfield Jr. will be playing on Super Bowl.
Yeah, he'll be playing. Antonio Brown should be playing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now let's go to coach hirings and quarterback trade talk. We haven't talked about, so Bret, you know Urban Meyer well from being a Michigan fan and Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. Urban Meyer, I don't think we ever would have predicted Urban Meyer to make the jump to the NFL. Now he's the Jags head coach. What do you think of that hire? Do you think Urban will be successful in the NFL?
I think he can be, yeah. I don't see why not, but at the same time, like, why is he doing it? You know, he said that he wanted out before.
Yeah. Like, what does he have to prove?
Right.
The good news is now he should get Trevor Lawrence as his quarterback.
I mean, he probably will.
Yeah. Is there any thought in your mind, Bret, that Urban Meyer goes unconventional, leaves Trevor Lawrence on the board, and takes Justin Fields instead?
I mean, maybe. It's just I'm not somebody who's up there scouting or watching for that kind of stuff all the time, so
yeah,
I'm not 100% sure, but at the same time, why, if he knows that system in Ohio State,
yeah.
So if that's a quarterback that he knows, and that's, even though it may not have been, his doing, it's still, he knows the system. It's somebody that he can work with.
Yeah, he recruited him, so he's got some familiarity with him that way. But I mean, the no-brainer is go Trevor Lawrence. He's the most talented quarterback available, and that could set up Urban Meyer with, a hell of a quarterback, a hell of a starting spot for building, turning the Jags franchise around. And they've got some good young pieces. LaVisca Chenault, James Robinson, D.D. Westbrook, a few wide receivers.
Yeah, we'll be. I had Chenault on my. Oh wait, was he? Which Chenault is that?
LaVisca Chenault was at Colorado.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Now he's on Jacksonville.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, Bret. The Lions hired Dan Campbell. Went against the grain a little bit, a little unconventional. He was the former Saints tight end coach. They brought in Chris Spielman to help make the decision. It seems like a Chris Spielman guy. Do you like what they're doing? Do you like the GM hire and the head coach hire? Me as a Bears fan, I saw Dan Campbell's opening press conference, and I had a fun making fun of it. I had a good chuckle and said, "Oh, it's just another, another missed hire." Am I a hater? And what do you think of Dan Campbell here? Do you like it?
I like his passion and his grit. He's tenacious.
Trying to bring toughness.
He's biting off kneecaps, and
Yeah, I just thought that was a little weird.
some people may have thought that was weird, and some people might have thought that's why Stafford wanted out. But it's a different personality, so I like it.
Yeah, at least give him a chance before you're gonna hate it. You're gonna let's see how you do first.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Dustin, the Eagles hire your former offensive coordinator there in Indy. He was with the Colts for 3 years. Nick Sirianni is now the Eagles head coach. What do you think of that hire?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good hire, but he kind of went into a tough situation with having to decide who's going to be the man next year between Hurts and Wentz, and again, Philly is a tough place, so if he makes the bad decision, he's going to hear about it.
Yeah. What do you think the right decision is there? Do you think it's Wentz or Jalen Hurts?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot right now. I would personally go Jalen Hurts just because I feel like Carson Wentz doesn't want to be in Philly no more. So at the end of the day, I'm going Jalen Hurts. But the Eagles owner Laurie does love Carson Wentz. That's the whole reason why he drafted him. So
and owners are going to do what they want to do. I'm just saying, if Jalen Hurts has shown potential, and if you trade Carson Wentz, you should be able to get a decent amount back for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think, Bret? Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts? Where do you think the Eagles should
go? They drafted Hurts. They already showed signs of being being in wishy-washy about what they were going to do. So you might as well go for it. This division is for the taking, as it seems. So
yeah, I agree. I'm with you guys. I think Jalen Hurts is the right answer. I'm just not convinced that's what they're going to do because their owner seems to like him. Their owner doesn't want to admit that the draft pick was wrong.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's something that kills franchises.
Yeah. Now, this is the conversation everybody's been talking about. The Houston Texans. They've been interviewing, and they're still interviewing head coaches. They seem to be trying to decide between Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs' offensive coordinator, former Lions head coach Jim Caldwell, and current Bills defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier, as well as the Ravens wide receiver coach David Culley, who at this moment seems to be the favorite to get the job. I don't know what the Texans are doing here. Their best chance at repairing the fractured relationship with Deshaun Watson is to hire Eric Bieniemy, who is the hottest offensive play caller in football, and I don't know why you wouldn't hire him. I don't know why he wasn't the first guy hired. What do you think, Bret, on the Texans? I mean, they could hire Jim Caldwell. He could help turn it around. Do you think that if they hire Eric Bieniemy or Jim Caldwell, that Deshaun Watson will stay?
I don't know. I remember seeing some things about that, and I can't say for sure. I think the decision of whoever the coach is going to be definitely will have an impact.
Yeah.
But as far as those two specifically, I don't know, but it might be the decision that he may like what Caldwell did in Detroit, and we're talking about the Detroit thing. There's the connection there. And
quick question, did you want Eric Bieniemy in Detroit?
I did. I thought, it was definitely on the table for something that I wouldn't have been upset with, but
Yeah,
it went the way it went, and we'll see how it goes.
yeah. What do you think, Dustin? I've said this on Twitter and on Facebook. I truly believe that Deshaun Watson's mind is already made up. I think that it doesn't matter at this point who they hire. He's going to go somewhere else. I think that, well, from what I heard, the owner promised Deshaun Watson, said, look, we're going to consult you on who we hire at GM and who we hire at head coach. I don't care if you consult with your quarterback or not, but if you go and tell him that you're going to, you better damn sure do it. And it's like, and he said that, and then they didn't consult him. Uh, Deshaun Watson said he wanted Louis Riddick to be the GM and Eric Bieniemy to be the head coach. Neither were. Riddick was never interviewed, and Bieniemy, they drug their feet. They didn't interview Bieniemy until like 2 weeks later, and even now, it seems like they're not going to hire him. I just feel like Deshaun Watson has lost trust with ownership. They traded away his favorite weapon in DeAndre Hopkins. I'm sure he and D Hop still talk, and I'm sure D Hop doesn't have anything nice to say about Texans ownership. So I just think that no matter who the Texans have already screwed up, they've already fucked up, they've already lost them. So now their head coaching hire doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't seem to matter. I think Deshaun Watson's gone. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I have to agree with you 100%. And the fact that Watson's gone, it won't be long, in my opinion, before J.J. Watt decides to go too, because he's going to want to be on a championship team, somebody who's going to win now. And if Houston loses Watson, they are going to have to start from scratch, man. I mean, because that was your franchise quarterback, somebody who was almost throwing for 4,000 yards a season, 4,500 yards, and your whole team. And now you have to start from scratch. So whoever takes over that franchise, good luck to them.
And we were joking, I believe it was back week 13, we are kind of grasping at straws when I said, look, if the Bears want to turn their franchise around, try and go get Deshaun Watson, see if he's available, because the Texans seem to be willing to give up their star talent, And the fact that, we were kind of joking, the fact that now it's a 100% reality and more likely than not that Deshaun Watson wants out, man, Houston, whatever they're doing over there, they're not doing a good job of it. What do you think, Bret? That organization just seems to be a dumpster fire. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, it's going downhill, most definitely. I think they're gonna end up turning into what Cleveland once was, and unfortunately, fortunately, it's good for me, being in the AFC South, but at the same time, it's just gonna be bad for the franchise. And my question for you is, why do you think these teams haven't snatched up Bieniemy by now? What could it be?
Well, I don't want to even go there, really, because a lot of people are saying racism and stuff, and I don't know. I'm not going to go that far, but I'll say this, because Mike Wilbon said there's like a fear of hiring the next black head coach, the next hot black head coach, because it's like they don't trust him. He's like, it's like going back to when Tony Dungy was first hired, and they didn't trust him. And I've heard people talk about, he doesn't interview well, or he's got some character issues or some off the field issues from back in the day. I did my research. His last off the field issue was 2001. It's been like 20 years, and he's been the highest offensive coordinator in football the last 3 years.
Yeah, going back-to-back Super Bowls, and
yeah,
could have been 3 if D Ford wasn't offsides.
Yeah, and the last, play callers, offensive coordinators that came out of Kansas City or came out of Andy Reid's system got hired right away, and Matt Nagy and Doug Peterson. So, frankly, I don't want to hear it. I don't care about their excuses. They're only hurting their own franchise. on not hiring Eric Bieniemy because he's a game changer in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really, like you said, we're not going to touch on that subject about race, but they did let Romeo Crennel be their interim head coach. So I mean, I don't,
and they're interviewing Jim Caldwell, they're interviewing Leslie Frazier, but so I don't think it's race, but it's something, and it's got to be fixed because he's a hell of a coordinator, and he deserves.
He may
a head
be,
coaching.
but I also heard that he doesn't interview very well. He doesn't answer the questions the way that they want him to.
I don't care. It's one interview. You want to win football games? Hire Eric Bieniemy.
Especially Detroit taking Dan Campbell, a really unknown, over somebody like Bieniemy. That's just insane.
My thoughts were, and I said this when it happened. I was like, imagine Lions fans right now had what they would be thinking and saying had they hired Louis Riddick to be GM and Eric Bieniemy to be head coach. They're not playing football games right now, but Lions fans would be super loud saying, "Oh shit, look out for us, here we come."
Yeah, well, I think we wanted Riddick as the GM.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I don't know, but hopefully these guys get hired soon, and maybe the right guy to help. Even if the Texans go into a rebuild, Jim Caldwell could be a great hire there. He would have turned it around in a hurry. I have great respect for him.
Yeah, he did well in Detroit, in my opinion. He kind of got robbed of his job because I believe he had them on the verge of the playoffs.
I think they went 10-6 that year. He didn't deserve to be fired either.
They were in the playoffs. They lost
to the New Orleans Saints, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see. A lot of drama to come. I mean, Deshaun Watson could be on the move. Matthew Stafford could be on the move. The 49ers are looking at both. The Patriots are looking at both. Your Colts are looking at Stafford. Bears are looking at Watson a lot. Could happen this offseason. What happens with Dak Prescott? What happens with Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers? So it's going to be a fun offseason. And hopefully, it looks like all three of our teams are going to have new quarterbacks. So we're going to have a lot to talk about.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have your eyes on anybody, Bret? Is there one quarterback that you hope the Lions go get?
Not necessarily. I just want it to be the right one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could see Justin Fields or someone like that. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yep. I'm all in on Deshaun Watson. I hope, if we get him, that's instantly the best quarterback the Bears have ever had on paper. And I know that, Dustin, you're all in. You want Matthew Stafford in Indy, right?
I want Matthew Stafford, or I wouldn't mind taking or trading for a Carson Wentz or, someone of that caliber.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep these coming out. We'll have, we'll follow this free agency and the draft and all that this season. I can't wait. Super Bowl right around the corner. You heard it from us. The Bucks are winning the Super Bowl over the Chiefs, and Brady is the GOAT, and will be the GOAT with 7 rings if he gets.
I just want to read this breaking news to you.
Okay.
It says David Coley has emerged as a favorite to be hired by Houston.
Yep, he went back for a second or third interview today. He interviewed earlier today and then was called back in. So there's a really good chance that he gets hired. And I don't know what his resume is. He's a Ravens wide receiver coach, and we were just talking about how the Ravens need some better receivers. So.
Man, I don't like that hire, but
okay. Me either. It doesn't make any sense, but you know what they say. So, good episode, great content, a lot of fun. Appreciate the support from everyone. Appreciate the likes, the subscribes, comments, all that stuff. Stay tuned. We got interviews on deck, and we're going to keep these episodes coming out. Thanks, Bret and Dustin. Good shit as always.
Oh yeah, thank you. Appreciate having me on.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime. Have a great week, guys, and peace out.